If you could just
Weird.
if you could just start by saying your name, your age, and the city that you're currently living in.
Julie Roughton, 37, in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, thank you. How old were you when you had your first child?
19.
Alright, did your parents ever talk to you about sex?
Not at all. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, continue.
Go ahead. No, finish your question.
And if so, do you remember what they said and how they said it?
No, sex was a topic that was not discussed in my household at all. It was a very hush-hush kind of thing, and not something that people did.
Did you ever have comprehensive sex education in your school?
We had a little bit, but it wasn't like it is today where they gave you more information and stuff like that. We didn't have like the talk about your whole body changing kind of thing, and I believe abstinence was mentioned in health class, but that's pretty much it.
Do you remember if you used contraception when you had sex as a teenager?
Yes, though probably not as frequently as I should have.
Did you receive guidance from your parents or other adult mentors when you became pregnant?
No, my mother actually wanted nothing to do with me. My parents totally had nothing to do with me and didn't speak to me again until after I had Kirsten. And the only reason they spoke to me again is because Kirsten was born 3 months early, and so she was very tiny and very sick in the hospital. And they brought a preacher into the hospital to bless her in case she died. And so that was the first time they had spoken to me since they found out I was pregnant.
Did you, after becoming pregnant, did you face any economic struggles or other difficulties?
Yeah. Having her, I was really sick. I don't do pregnancy well, and I lived with Kirsten's dad when she was born. And we were both 19 at the time, and I was sick, and Kirsten was born with a heart condition, and she was extremely sick. And so by the time she finally was able to come home from the hospital, because she was in the hospital for a couple of months, Jeff worked. I didn't because I was too sick to work. And he lasted about a month at home with a sick baby, and so he ended up leaving, and we had to basically go to various friends' houses, and I had to depend on other people to help me out to buy her clothes and food and stuff like that. And eventually Jeff's parents, who his dad is military, and they were stationed in Aviano, Italy, and they had never met Kirsten, of course, because they were over there when she was born, and they bought us a plane ticket to go visit them for a couple of weeks to try to de-stress me a little bit, and they wanted to meet Kirsten. And when I got over to Italy, I ended up getting really sick over there, and we ended up living there for almost a year. Too much information.
No, it's great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're able to talk about this. Do you think it would have helped? Do you wish your parents had talked to you about sex?
To be honest with you, no, not really. My relationship with my parents is rocky at best, and I was a pretty straightforward child, and so when I first made the decision to have sex, I was not. It wasn't like a 15-year-old in the back of the car situation. It was something that I was with a long-term boyfriend, and it was something that I had thought out, and actually having that conversation with my parents probably wouldn't have affected that decision process for me. But yeah, so I doubt it. Especially not my parents. They're not the chatty people.
Have you talked to your children about sex?
Yes, actually, strangely. As uncomfortable as it has made me, we have a pretty open household, and so basically any subject that they've ever wanted to discuss, be it sex or racism or abortions, or I happen to be dating at the moment that they don't like, they're pretty free to voice whatever they want and to ask any questions. And so them and several of their friends have come and asked questions about certain things. And to be honest with you, half the time I'm trying to look I'm really cool answering the questions and calm, and on the inside I'm screaming, oh my God, I cannot believe they're asking me these questions. But I'm a pretty, since it's just the girls and I mean, we have that open door policy, and so they've always been able to ask, unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately in some things, whatever they want, and they've never been shy about asking the questions either.
That's really great that you have that relationship and you're able to talk to them about that. Do you think it is appropriate for schools to teach abstinence-only education to students who we know are currently having sex?
I think it's unrealistic to teach abstinence-only education. I think to teach abstinence in itself is a good thing. I'm a firm believer, in waiting until you feel that it's right for you. But I am not a believer in waiting until you're married. I think it's unrealistic. I think that they should teach not only that abstinence and why kids should wait, but if they don't, teach them education of what to do while they are being sexually active. Teach them to be safe. Teach them to be able to talk to their parent or somebody at the school or whoever they need to talk to of the best way to be able to get condoms or birth control or what to do even if they got into the situation that they got pregnant. If they have one strict policy doesn't cover everybody. I mean, I've known lots of people who got married when they were in high school, and so abstinence only doesn't really. They were married, but they were married at like 16 years old. Who knows what they want to, or who they want to live with for the rest of their life at 16? That's just crazy. So, and I think part of that strict one-person policy leads to stuff like that, because they're like, oh, I can't have sex, so I might as well get married to be able to have sex. And so I think it's more if you teach for people to be strong in their own values and have sex when they decide it's right for them. That's more reasonable.
Do you have any advice for teens currently regarding sex?
I think the only thing that I've ever even told the girls or anything like that is to make sure that it's something that you really feel that you want to do. That it's not that you're not doing it for anybody other than yourself. You have to be strong with yourself to make. If you want to make the adult decisions, then try to be strong with yourself. Decide what is the best for you, not what is the best for whoever else you're with, or if somebody's like, well, I really want to, well, I don't really want to, so who cares what you want? That's the best time in your life to be, and one of the best decisions to be completely selfish in.
All right, thank you so much.